Hello, this is Brian. Today is Sunday, September 26th, 2021. I'm here in Cleveland National Forest along North Main Divide Road, and it's time for a Spotlight on Plants video. Today, as the opening shot shown, is our plant for the day. This is called Douglas Butterweed. This is Senecio flaccidus variety douglasii. Senecio flaccidus douglasii. One of the common names is Douglas Butterweed. I know it has other common names, but this is the only one I can remember because sometimes these plants have millions of common names. But Douglas Butterweed is a perennial subshrub in the sunflower family, the Asteraceae. And during the late summer into fall, this plant will put on a beautiful lit up display of these golden yellow flower heads. And you can see they're a hit with the local honeybee population. And you can see here we got an Apis mellifera, or a few Apis melliferas going and taking the nectar out of these beautiful flower heads. So this is yet another sunflower family plant video. I've been doing a few of these lately. I shot one earlier about telegraph aster. So there's another theme here. Another theme that correlates to that video is this plant's tendency to grow in disturbed areas. And what better of an example of a disturbed area than a road cut with rockfall? So the soil here is constantly getting disturbed. We also had the holy fire from 2018 come through this area, and then the constant rock slides from the hillside above. So this area is an area of disturbed soil, obviously, and this plant is quite common along roadsides. I've seen this constantly in our mountain foothills, lower elevation mountains. Seen it up, I believe I've seen it up in the southern Sierra Nevada too, near the Kern River. I believe this, I don't know if it's the same variety, but I know our local variety is variety douglasii. So again, this is Senecio flaccidus variety douglasii. So the characteristics of this plant are very thin, threaded, lobed leaves. So you can see here, you can see the leaves come out from the stem. They have little linear lobes on the side of them. And that's a common characteristic of this plant. And you can see the leaves have lobes on them as well, going up the stem. And like a lot of sunflower family plants, pretty common theme in this family, the leaves lower down on the stems tend to be larger than the leaves up towards the flower heads and inflorescence areas. So Douglas Butterweed, there's not an extremely huge difference between the lower leaves and the upper leaves, but it can be noticeable. So let's talk about a couple of other more obvious qualities or aspects of this plant. And of course, it's the yellow, beautiful yellow flower heads. Now, knowing that this isn't in the sunflower family, the Asteraceae, the plants have composite flower heads. So if you look carefully, it's probably better if you do this in person, but you look here in the center, the little yellow center dot is actually a group of disc florets, little miniature disc flowers. Then you get what look like the petals on the outside. What looks like the petals are actually the ray flowers or ray florets. So again, it's a sunflower family plant. The flower heads are composite. The old family name for the sunflower family before it was listed as Asteraceae was Compositae. C-O-M-P-O-S-I-T-A-E. Compositae, which basically referred to the composite flower heads. And then, after the flowers themselves senesce, in other words, the flowers themselves die away, in their wake are these dandelion-like seed heads. And what will happen is the wind will blow these seeds all over the place. All over the place. I guess it needed a little stronger wind than my little breath of air, but they will eventually, when they dry up enough, the seeds will fly all over the place on the Santa Ana winds here that are inevitably coming sooner or later. And then the seeds will be blown off to some other disturbed sites, probably likely in this area, because they seem to grow in patches. I've only seen a few patches of this plant so far along the way here, but there are some spots of it along here along Main Divide Road and also on Ortega Highway. I came up from Lake Elsinore and I saw some patches of this plant that seem to be quite inconspicuous most of the year until the end of summer, well into fall, when all of a sudden you're seeing these plants with yellow flower heads all over the place. Like, okay, how come I didn't notice this plant before? Well, the plants tend to blend into the background, kind of, until this time of year, when all of a sudden, boom, they seem like they're everywhere. And there they are, the beautiful Douglas butterweed. So I told you that this plant is a subshrub. Well, most of this plant is herbaceous. However, towards the very base of these plants, there can be some soft wood formation. Now, you might have to go right near to where the stems meet the roots to really find any woodiness, because these plants are not really strongly woody in any aspect that I am aware of. But here's another plant over here that seems to display a little more of a shrubby habit. In other words, this one tends to have more woody tissue in it. Here we go, right here. And it kind of has light brownish, even slightly stringy bark. So it does develop some level of woodiness with age. So, figured I'd have to show that with age this plant can get some woodiness. I don't get that it's an extremely long-lived plant, but some people do label it as a shrub. I consider it more of a subshrub, but obviously that's just semantics. All in all, it is a beautiful plant. Very striking part of our late summer and fall flowering, and should be appreciated as such. So there you have it, Douglas butterweed, Senecio flaccidus, variety douglasii, and the spelling S-E-N-E-C-I-O, then flaccidus is F-L-A-C-C-I-D-U-S, and then variety douglasii, D-O-U-G-L-A-S-I-I. So that will do it on my spotlight on Douglas butterweed. Hope you found it interesting and informative, and I will see you on my next video. Thanks for watching.